Spoiler warning for those listening, this episode will include many spoilers about One Piece up until the most recent episode. So if you haven't seen that, please don't listen.
Hello, everyone. We are the Anime Normies, and I'm Anthony.
And I'm Anna.
And in this episode, I have a major update. I think actually an accomplishment that I want to share with everyone. I am now finally caught up with One Piece after
Woohoo! All 1 million episodes.
after it took me 4 years. So after 4 years of watching One Piece.
No, not 4 years.
No, I looked. It was 2021, and currently it's 2025.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, and I probably could have finished it sooner, but I did actually take a 1 year break after the Thriller Bark arc, or actually in the middle of Thriller Bark. I was kind of getting bored with it, and I took a 1 year break from it. I started watching Bleach, and then I just powered through One Piece, and I can say that I am definitely a huge fan, and I can see where the hype is, and I just want to share my thoughts on the last 2 arcs of One Piece.
Okay, let's hear them.
Now, Anna hasn't watched One Piece. I've been trying her to watch One Piece.
No, I'm not gonna watch 5,000 episodes of a show.
She refuses to watch it, but like you're totally capable of watching 1,500 episodes of.
No.
Actually, 1,150 episodes of One Piece.
No, I'm watching other things. In the time that he's watched one anime, I've watched 100.
That's true. Actually, I do think you have caught up with me as far as the amount of animes you've seen so far.
Yes, because you were too busy watching one anime for 4 years.
So, anyways, yes, I'm finally caught up. I love One Piece.
I would
love
just like
the
to
Straw
say,
Hats.
though,
Okay.
honestly, I have seen many episodes of One Piece. Like, he's not just watching this, and I haven't seen any One Piece ever. I've seen many, many episodes of One Piece.
I give her updates too.
And I get regular updates on what's going on.
Updates that she doesn't even ask for. I just tell her what I'm watching.
And it's like every update I hear, it's like, really, it's a goofy show.
It's funny. So like I'll be watching the show and she'll just kind of peek at what I'm watching and she'll see Luffy eating a bunch of men made out of biscuits. And I have to explain to her that this guy's devil fruit power is making biscuits. And, stuff like that, I'll tell her about, and she just can't take it seriously.
I'm just convinced that, like, whoever created One Piece he's just, like, really hungry when he, like, writes a lot of these shows. I mean, I'm, like, literally sitting there one time and I look up and he's like, oh, yeah, this girl, her power is she makes biscuits in her mouth and she like hands them out to like animal people and then she like controls them.
She's talking about the girl who, she makes this little thing that she feeds to animals and she can command them. That was in the Wano arc.
And then there was like this one episode where he's like, oh, Anna, like Luffy has to defeat this guy by like eating him because he's a giant biscuit. And Luffy's like, literally, I can't take one more bite, and he's like all fat trying to like eat this biscuit. There's a lot of eating in the show.
On the surface, it does look very unserious, but the story has become very serious. Like the stakes are higher after every arc. The stakes just get higher and higher, and it gets more serious. You learn more truths about, the world that One Piece is in. It's great.
As you should. That it's over 1,000 episodes. You should be learning all kinds of stuff.
That's true. And that's the thing about One Piece, that those little bits of truths that you get at like the end of every arc motivates me to move on to the next arc. And honestly, it's not even that much information sometimes. They'll like give you just like a little waft of information, just little bit.
You just get a little crumb.
A little
crumb to like hold you over to the next arc.
And that crumb is enough for me to justify 500 episodes of of just One Piece.
When do you think One Piece starts getting good?
Oh, well, I thought for me it got good at like Arlong Park, which was like, I don't know what episode that was, but it was like maybe before episode 100.
Wasn't that like the first arc?
It's like the third or fourth arc. Mm-hmm. So for me, I really, that sold me on the show.
I feel like you were on episode like 400 and you were like, this show's getting good now. I'm
Well-
like, oh, episode 400, it's getting good.
Yeah, well, it just keeps getting better and better, like I said, because you get just little snippets of information that just makes you want more.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to learn and just know the truth.
I just remember, like, every once in a while, I'd be like, is Luffy Gear 5 yet? Is Luffy, because we knew,
Yeah.
like, you know, we know Luffy goes Gear 5.
Gear 5 was spoiled for me, but I didn't know when it would happen or how it would happen. And so, yeah, so let me just get into the last two arcs that I just finished, which is obviously the most recent arcs. The Wano arc. The Wano arc.
I just want to say this.
Okay.
I feel like he was talking about them going to Wano for like at least 100 episodes.
No, it was actually, I think it was more than 100
It was
episodes.
they're on their way to Wano. They're on their way to Wano. Oh yeah, by the way, they're still on their way to Wano.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, are they ever going to get there?
That is true. We first hear about Wano in like 3 arcs before the actual Wano arc. That's a guess, but that's easily at least 200 episodes.
So we finally
They
get
finally
to Wano.
get to Wano. Now, Wano is one of my favorite, if not my favorite arc of One Piece, and let me tell you why.
Mhm.
The whole Wano arc can honestly stand on its own as its like own anime. Like
Well, yeah, it's what, like 500 episodes on its own?
on its own, I think
I think it actually could count as 5 anime.
there are 197 episodes in the Wano arc.
That's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes. So that's the interesting thing about the Wano arc is that the arc can stand alone by itself without being even part of the One Piece world. And honestly, Luffy's crew is essentially kind of, I don't want to say they're like minor characters or it's like the Straw Hats are like a guest to this story of Wano. The story of Wano, you know, they give you this whole backstory about this previous shogun of Wano who is Kozuki Oden. And you essentially see, you know, you get his backstory, which is like a really long backstory, but it's a very good backstory because it really sets the stage of not only Wano itself, but it gives you glimpses of Goldie Rogers' crew because he ended up being part of Rogers' crew to find the One Piece, and so you get to see that connection, and so you get like this whole story of Kozuki Oden and his life, and you know, from his beginnings up to his death. He essentially gets killed, probably one of the most gruesome deaths in One Piece. He gets boiled to death, which is funny because he's Odin, and Odin is a Japanese food that gets boiled.
Wait, he was in Goldie Rogers' crew?
Yeah.
Oh, who was he?
What do you mean? He was Kozuki Oden.
No, I mean, like, was he, I don't know, the
So
first mate or the chef or
I don't think he really.
the tank, the healer? I don't know. I
don't
don't know
think-
what's in their crew.
Oh yeah, like what was his actual specified role? I don't know if he did have a specified role, but he wanted to travel the world. He wanted to leave Wano and sail and experience the world, and he ran into Rogers' crew. So he found the One Piece with Rogers' crew, and then after he found the One Piece, he went back to Wano, reclaim Wano from one of the Emperors of the Sea in Kaido. Kaido is
Is that
one.
the dragon?
He's the dragon.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
See, I saw a little bit of this.
Yeah.
He has a daughter.
Yeah. And so, you know, like I said, going back to what I said about Wano being a standalone arc or standalone anime, it's very complex. Like, you get to see turmoil of and the politics within Wano, because there's like this rivaling family, and they essentially steal the leadership of Wano by being an ally to Kaido. So Kurozumi Orochi, he essentially hates Odin's family, and he feels like he is the rightful shogun of the Wano nation, and he ends up beating Odin with the help of Kaido. But yeah, just the complexity and then the setup of that story was just very well executed. It wasn't rushed. It was very well developed, and you know, it better be well developed if it takes 197 episodes.
It better be immaculate.
So that's one thing that I really liked about it. The other really cool thing about this Wano arc, back to what you were saying about how Wano gets mentioned even way before the arc actually starts. You actually meet some major players and characters that are from Wano. So you meet Kanjuro, Kinemon, Momonosuke, and Raizo. Now these are characters that the Straw Hats just run into along the way. Mm-hmm. And this is like I said, 300, 200 episodes in advance. So you really, really,
I don't even remember them.
Well, they're very memorable, but that is the sort of build up that you see in One Piece that you really don't see in a lot of other shows, because a lot of other shows
aren't that long.
They're not that long.
You don't have the time to build up.
But you really grow with these characters, and if you think about it in the context of people who have actually watched the show for years, mm-hmm. like they've actually known these characters that I just mentioned for years, and you look at these characters as like part of the crew essentially. But then in the Wano arc, when it's actually their stage, when they're the main players in this story, you get one of the craziest betrayals ever in Wano. Mm-hmm. One of the characters that we meet along the way ends up betraying the rest of the crew. His name is Kanjuro. Mm-hmm. And Kanjuro, this betrayal amazed me. It's probably one of the most impressive and unexpected betrayals in all of media for myself. Because again, I watched 400 episodes of this guy being an ally, being a real friend. Like I trusted this guy because I don't know, he was just part of the crew. He was a dedicated servant to Oden and the Straw Hat crew. Mm-hmm. Okay, and
he's a double spy.
And so when
plot twist,
when it was revealed that he was a traitor the whole time, I was literally gobsmacked. I was so surprised. I was literally speechless. I literally had to pause the show, and I had to collect myself, because this guy was literally a friend for 400 episodes. That's crazy. That the gaslighting to manipulate and just make me feel comfortable in thinking that Kanjuro is just this strong ally. And even the backstory that you get from him being a loyal leader, a loyal retainer for Kozuki Oden, I didn't suspect anything.
So what's the deal? Why? He was always a double spy?
Yeah. So
what's he on?
Well, then, obviously you get that after you learn that he's a traitor, you get that backstory about how he's got family ties to Orochi. And again, Orochi...
Orochimaru, yes.
No, different Orochi, but they are related, and they're from the same family.
So he was always bad.
So he was always bad the whole time.
Ah, a snake.
I know.
A snake in sheep's clothing.
Which is funny, because I think Orochi means snake.
Yes, Orochimaru.
Yeah,
he's
Orochimaru.
A snake.
So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite aspects of Wano, is just the betrayal, the truth bomb from that, and it's just so impressive that this character that you trust just absolutely just blindsides you. That was one of the greatest betrayals I've ever experienced in my life. So crazy.
Really? That's the biggest betrayal?
I honestly, after I watched that, I couldn't think of a betrayal more surprising to me.
The biggest betrayal.
I mean, can you?
I don't know. Probably. The biggest betrayal in anime.
I mean, so spoiler alert. I mean, Attack on Titan, Bertold and Reiner,
oh, yeah.
That was
a
big.
Huge betrayal.
That was big, but
No, but. That was pretty big.
Well, the thing is with them, you don't have enough time, and there's not as many episodes of them fighting alongside each other. Like there are like 3 arcs that Kandro, Kinemon, and Momonosuke are in before they even get to Raizo. Like it's probably the equivalent of like, oh man, it's probably the equivalent of like, you know, you watch all of Naruto and Kakashi is like, you know, this trustworthy guy, and then in Shippuden he's all of a sudden an op. Like that it's that level of
Wow, okay.
yeah, it's that level of security that I had with this character, with Kanjuro. So yeah, that was crazy. Really, really impressive setup for that betrayal. The other thing that I really liked about the Wano arc, the animations just like got ramped up. The animation was so impressive compared to the previous arcs, especially for the fights. And for some odd reason, I feel like every time Zoro fought, he got like the best animation. It was like better than Sanji's. It was sometimes even better than Luffy, and Luffy got Gear 5. Like every time he fought, it was just like the craziest, like it was like Demon Slayer level of animation.
Why just Zoro?
I don't know. I was beginning to think that there's some sort of favoritism for Zoro in the animation with the animation studio. I don't know, but in my opinion, he had the craziest animation. Besides Luffy's Gear 5, which was like a whole thing. So yeah, the animation was great. What also really surprised me about this arc is I didn't expect 2 emperors to die. The fact that Big Mom and Kaido died, 2 like virtually invincible people.
Dude, hold up. This one I know a little bit about.
Okay.
They were trying to kill Big Mama for a long ass time. Let me tell you that. I remember like the one, like I was watching the episode with you and they're like plotting to kill her at the wedding or whatever. Dude, like 100 episodes later, Homegirl is still out there. She is still trekking. She's like riding a Calcifer like over the ocean, like
the
like little sun
her fire
thing, and I'm like, oh my god, she's still alive. I thought we were killing her at the wedding because they were gonna like break her picture and overwhelm her and kill her.
There were probably like maybe 5 plans to try to.
Dude, her backstory was long. It was long. I remember I was on the couch with you when you were watching those episodes. Yeah. She had a very long backstory. It's a sad one,
though, right? Do you remember it?
Yes, I remember. She's like, you know, big and goes and lives in an orphanage and is like kind of mean as shit to like all the other kids.
But the person that she trusted turned out to be like a trafficker, a human trafficker.
Oh, that nun was a trafficker?
That nun was a human trafficker.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the whole twist with her backstory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No, I just thought she
was like selling these kids. Yeah.
Oh, she was selling the kids?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a...
yeah, so there's some crazy themes in One Piece.
Yeah, she honestly, after a while, I was like, shit, put some respect on my girl's name. Like, they've been trying to kill her for a while.
Well, I mean, so as an emperor, she lived up to her name. And it, you know, the way that she died was she essentially got thrown into the core of the earth. Like, that's the only way you could kill her. Same with Kaido. So, yeah, I was very surprised to see both of them gone. I didn't expect either of them to die, but the fact that they both died was kind of unbelievable for me. So that was kind of cool. And then the other...
But didn't Luffy become an emperor then?
Yeah, so the result of that was Luffy becomes an emperor and so does Buggy, which is hilarious because Buggy is...
Buggy? Why is Buggy an emperor? Yeah. I thought they defeated Buggy like...
No.
Long time ago.
So they did defeat Buggy, but... you know, Buggy's got a certain reputation throughout the world, and he got the support of 2 former warlords in Crocodile and Hawkeye. Crocodile is the guy.
I thought Crocodile was dead.
No, he's alive.
Really?
Yeah. So anyways, Crocodile and Hawkeye, or Mihawk, it's not Hawkeye, Mihawk,
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, Mihawk. They don't want the notoriety and they don't want the attention. So they are actually the real leaders of the group, and they just made Buggy be the figurehead. And so Buggy's an emperor,
but he's not.
But
he's actually like just a face.
He's just the face. And Mihawk and Crocodile are the real masterminds behind the group. Yeah.
Okay. So Buggy's not an emperor.
He is to everyone in the world except for the people who matter.
And the people that know that he's not really about that life.
Yeah, but most people, even Luffy, isn't aware of like this relationship between him and Crocodile and Mihawk.
Are they not like shocked? Are they not like, why is Buggy an emperor? Like we beat his ass 700 episodes ago.
Yeah, they were surprised. They were like, oh, okay.
Guess he got real strong since the last time we saw him.
Yeah, so those deaths were we've got new emperors. We got Blackbeard, Luffy, Buggy, and Shanks. So the other thing that I really liked about this arc is the growth of our boy Momonosuke. So Momonosuke, you remember that arc where these giant babies were running through the hall?
Oh my gosh, yes. They were running on Baby Island for like a really long time.
By Baby Island, she means the Punk Hazard arc, when those kids were essentially just science experiments.
I would look up and it's like them and the babies like running for their lives. And then I'd go do other stuff, do some errands. I'd come back. Dude, the babies are still running.
They were running in the hall for about 20 episodes. But anyways.
I remember being like one day I woke up and I was like, okay, but did the babies escape? Like, what happened to them? Did they ever make it?
So Luffy actually met Momonosuke on that island. So that's how far back this relationship goes.
Is he one of the babies?
No. He was like in a trash dump somewhere, hiding. Yeah. But he was on that island.
He was eating biscuits and feeding them to animals.
The biscuits happened on Whole Cake Island. Anyways. Okay. Excuse me. Anyway, so what I really liked about Wano arc is that you get to see Momonosuke really step up and grow into being a leader, because when you first meet Momonosuke, he's a huge coward. Really big baby. I mean, he's 8 years old. Understandable.
Wait. Is he the one that turns into a dragon?
Yeah, so he turns into a pink dragon.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so he's a big baby, and you get to really see him push himself to become a leader and to essentially be one of the biggest factors to save Wano. And what I really like about that growth is the involvement of Luffy. Luffy is honestly like a huge big brother to Momonosuke. And what I think, despite the fact that Luffy's an idiot, I do think Luffy has a very high emotional intelligence. And I think and I think this is why he's such a good leader, because I think he knows how to approach certain people. And with Momonosuke, he's kind of abrasive. He kind of picks on Momonosuke and makes fun of Momonosuke for being weak and cowardly. But that's what a lot of big brothers do. And I think Luffy did it because he knew that Momonosuke could use that to really push himself to be better. Because you don't really see Luffy act that way with other people. But the fact that Luffy does this to Momonosuke, he's literally acting like a big brother, makes me think that, Luffy really does have like this deep understanding of other people. And I really don't think a lot of people really highlight that about Luffy. They really just see Luffy as like this impulsive, easygoing, like idiot, which is very true. But he's also a very good leader, and I really think that relationship with Momonosuke highlights his emotional intelligence. And it works. Momonosuke really just like
he becomes a dragon.
He becomes a dragon.
Turns into a pink dragon.
But yeah, so he really grows up. He's still not perfect, right? He's still 8 years old. He still struggles with being weak and cowardly, but he was able to show up when it mattered the most. And he saved the city from being destroyed. So that is something that I feel like not enough people talk about with Luffy and the Wano arc. The other thing too, I mean, the obvious thing, the one of the biggest things that happened in Wano arc is Luffy turning into Gear 5, which was awesome. Seeing Luffy in Gear 5 and learning that his devil fruit was more than just the gum fruit was honestly like the first big reveal that we got. And unfortunately, it took more than 1,000 episodes to get there. Because, like we said earlier in the podcast, there's like just little bits of information that we're allowed to get. But this one was like a huge, like, wow, Luffy is probably inherited, this power from a god, essentially. And he's now part of this, like, this prophecy of this sun god, Nika, that is supposed to, bring us to freedom. And so I thought that was kind of cool because that you don't get big truths at that level from any of the arcs, which makes me think that, this truly is us going into the end game because we are getting these,
sure.
these bigger truths.
They gonna be writing this show until I die. He's like, oh my gosh, Anya, this is it. This is it. We're in the end zone now.
Yeah.
Because they're revealing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Let me know when they figure out the One Piece.
Yeah. But his Gear 5 is really interesting. He's now not only able to manipulate his body to be stretchy, but he's also manipulating other things to be stretchy. Like you see him like, swinging from lightning bolt to lightning bolt. He's making the ground bouncy. He's making everything flexible. Like he's changing the shape of his environment, which is something that we've never seen Luffy do.
Does Luffy know that he didn't eat the gum fruit?
No, he doesn't know. And people like, so he looks like this Nika. And some people know about this Nika in history and in folklore. Like Nika's like a legend. And so when people see Luffy, they're like, "Oh, you are Nika," and Luffy's like, "I don't know."
Reincarnation.
Well, that's what's implied, but Luffy's like, "I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know Nika, whatever." Like he doesn't care.
Okay.
Which is very on brand for Luffy. He's just like, whatever. Like you keep calling me Nika, I don't know who that is, and he moves on. He doesn't ask questions.
Wait, so who was he fighting when he went into Gear 5? Like, who made him
He was fighting
go into Gear 5?
Kaido. He was fighting Kaido, and Kaido essentially kills him. So Luffy's dead.
That's another thing. I swear, every time I, like, peek in and look at One Piece, Luffy's, like, dead. Or Luffy's, like, on the verge of death.
Well, yeah, I mean...
There's this, I don't know what episode or what arc or what, but they're like, I know Luffy, he'll come back, like he's gonna come back, guys. I'm not worried about him. And then it flashes to Luffy and he's like literally blue, no pulse, dead on some ship. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no.
Every time I see him, he's like worse for wear.
She's specifically referring to when Luffy was thrown off the island and he was in the ocean. He was literally drowning in the ocean, and Trafalgar Law's crew saves him in their submarine. And yeah, he's like essentially dead at that point. And they give him food, and he's back to normal. But no, he actually
because that fixes everything.
It does.
In One Piece,
it does.
Just
Food.
biscuits. Eat lots of biscuits.
So, yeah. So he essentially dies, and that awakens something inside him, and he gets to Gear 5, and so. And we see Gear 5 a lot after that. So, yeah, Wano arc was great. Animation was great. The build-up, the storytelling, the complexity. I thought it was probably one of the best anime arcs of all time. Yes, it's long.
Best anime arc of all time.
One of.
Wow.
I will say this. The biggest thing that I did not like about the Wano arc is that, and this is going to sound crazy, but there were too many fights. There were so many fights that we didn't have to see. There was like a fight where Kaido was drunk, and I'm like, what? I'm not getting anything out of watching Kaido fight Luffy drunk. It was just a lot. You could have just like got rid of half of the fights, and the story would have been all the same. And there were so many dinosaurs. Everyone had like dinosaur powers, and there's this, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It was whatever. But I would give the Wano arc like a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise,
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
but
otherwise, yeah.
get rid of half the fights. Get rid of half the season. But 9 out of 10.
No, not half the season, but half the fights. But
Oh, okay.
it was a good experience. I really liked, even though it was a long arc, it was very well written, and just the fact that like these.
How can you be
The
well
detail-
written if you're like, you don't need half the fights?
Well, it's because he was setting up Wano 300 episodes in advance, and I feel like that's not very easy to do.
I know plenty of shows that do it in much less episodes.
I mean, yes, it can be done in less episodes. They're literally remaking One Piece with less episodes. It's going to be great, but still, like it's still impressive, and I really don't think most people would be able to.
I don't know, if you have 300 episodes to set something up, I think
think
it better go hard.
I don't think it needed that many episodes, but the fact that it was, something that happened over a span of years. That's what I have to say about the Wano arc. Now, currently, I'm on Egghead, which is the most recent anime arc that we're on right now. This arc is the arc where we get some absolute truth bombs all at once. 90% of the questions that I had are answered in this arc because of our friend Vegapunk. So I'm not going to summarize everything, but he dies and he has like this pre-recorded message that's being broadcasted to the entire world. And man, just the things that he says are literally world changing. He's literally telling the world that the sea levels are rising and everyone's essentially going to drown. There's going to be no land left for anyone to live on. People are going to act different. People are going to go crazy. People are going to, I don't know, fight over resources. It's going to be chaos. And I think that's exciting for
I think this show is already chaos.
It's chaos within the pirate world, but now
That's just everybody.
But now everyone, including normal civilians, even the Marines and the Navy, like, their lives are like turned upside down with these truths. And then he talks about these weapons that can be used to change the world. And I mean,
I saw that episode where they like Death Starred an island.
Yeah,
and that was pretty crazy.
That's the other thing too, is that the world government has this, essentially a Death Star. It's this weapon that can easily just eliminate and genocide a whole island. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited that now that I'm caught up with the anime, I have now started reading the manga. And so I'm past the Egghead Island arc. It's getting crazy. I thought the stakes were already pretty high after Wano and after Egghead, but the stakes are even higher, which I don't know how it was possible to be higher, but they are. I don't want to reveal anything for, because it's now we're getting into the manga, but we're definitely in the end game now, and things are getting very serious.
So you say.
Things are getting very serious. We're now seeing, these higher powers come out of the shadows to actually face-to-face confront the Straw Hats.
If there's anything I know about anime, it's that the stakes can always be higher. Always. There is no limit to what the stakes can be. So whatever you think the stakes are, they could be higher. I just want to know what the One Piece is. That's all I want to know right now is what's the One Piece?
Yeah. And that's another thing is, Vegapunk, with all the things that he said like 10 major things that I can't really repeat right now because there's so many of them, but he really didn't hint. He didn't really say anything about the One Piece.
I'm surprised that like the people on like Goldie Rogers' crew hasn't said anything.
Well, like, so his right-hand man, Rayleigh, essentially says that he wants just the younger generation to find out for themselves. He doesn't want to spoil the fun, essentially.
It sounds like the One Piece is the fun of pirating. That's the One Piece.
No, I think the One Piece is actually a thing.
You think it's a thing?
I think it's an actual thing.
I think it was like the adventure that we had along the way.
Oda, the creator of One Piece, said that it wasn't.
It's an actual thing.
I don't. He didn't say it was going to be like the power of friendship. I could be wrong.
I'm convinced it's the power of friendship. The fact that you just said Goldie Rogers' right hand man is like, oh, I want the youngins to experience it for themselves. That sounds like it's the power of friendship.
It does sound like the power of friendship. That is where I am with my One Piece update after 5 years, 1,100 episodes. You know what's crazy? One Piece has gotten so long that the Japanese voice actor for Frankie retired.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been going on when did it start? Let's see. When did they start the show? 1999. So we're going on 27 years.
The anime or the manga?
The anime. That's 27 years. Yeah. I imagine some people are going to retire in that time.
Yeah.
That's a very long career of voice acting.
That is a very long career.
How old? I'm pretty sure the voice actress for Luffy is...
She's also pretty old.
She is up there in years.
Yeah.
Let's see. How old is she? She is 70 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So, hopefully she can voice act to the show's resolution. I would hope that for her. I mean, she's dedicated a good part of her life to the show, so I hope she can be a part of like the final episode.
Yeah, that would be.
But we're gonna need that to be soon.
And I think Oda took a break from making the manga too, so I'm excited that I joined the crew and that I dedicated all this time to get caught up. I think it was worth it. Honestly, I do think it's worth it. Oh,
I feel like people have to say that though. Anybody who's caught up with One Piece is like, yes, it's the best show ever. It's worth it. Because how do you admit that you just watched 1,000 episodes of something and dedicated all this time and you're like, it wasn't that good? Like, you can't.
I mean, the sales speak for themselves. The popularity speaks for itself.
I started watching it and I can't with the pacing.
Are you going to watch the remake?
What do you mean the remake? Like the live action?
No, they're remaking all the episodes so that it's shorter.
I'll give it a try.
They're making like arcs that are 90 episodes long into like 12 episodes. That's how much
I love that. Yeah. I can vibe with that. I feel like people who are diehards are going to be
like purists
are not going to like that.
They're not going to like it. I am going to watch it because I do want to see what they do cut out. Because the fact that you're cutting a 100 arc episode down to 15, 20 episodes, that's a lot of stuff. That's more than just like extra fluffy pacing stuff. Like, I feel like you're cutting out fights. You're cutting out like little storylines. Oh, okay. So remember when I spoke about Chow Chow, the dog, in one of our previous episodes?
Uh-huh.
You see Chow Chow again.
Really?
Yeah.
I predicted that. I was like, if I know anything, we'll see the dog again.
So they show Chow Chow when people are reading the newspaper and learning that Luffy is an emperor. It's either that or during the broadcast of when Vegapunk is talking about how the world is going to end.
Well, good for Chow Chow.
But anyway,
what's he up to?
So you see Chow Chow, he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there. He's not doing anything. Yeah.
You got that little crumb.
A little crumb from
a little crumb of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Is One Piece in your top 10 anime?
Ooh.
I feel like it's not. Like, I feel like it's not, but because he's dedicated so much of his life, he like has to say it is.
It's close. I'll have to look at my top 10 again, but I think it's close. I'm sure if I looked at, my whatever is in the 6 through 10 spots, I could probably justify kicking out for One Piece. I want to shout out Book Talk for now reading One Piece. I'm having so much fun watching people with literacy analyze and experience One Piece, because there are some people who are making these crazy predictions that are extremely accurate. And I'm like, wow, like they're picking up on things that I wasn't picking up on, or most people weren't picking up on at certain points in the story.
Really? I need the Book Talk people to just tell me what the One Piece is then.
You know, there was a book talker, and she was like, do we even know if Luffy had the gum gum fruit? Like, what if he ate a different fruit? Which is an insane thing to say, because yeah, you're right. It's not the gum gum fruit. It's something more serious, more godly. That was such a crazy question to ask.
If you read a lot of books, maybe you're just very insightful to stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Smart people. All right. Well, I'm excited to just keep living vicariously through you as you truck on through this very long journey.
That's all. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe, rate, do all those things, and we'll see you at the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.